asked to do a clinical trial, I personally had no hesitation. I knew that it was something I wanted to do. My husband agreed with me. Like, whatever we can do to come at this beast, let's do it. He also had seen how the loss of my friend had affected me, and he knew that my desire to participate in research was also a way to honor her and my nephew's mom, who had also passed away from the same type of cancer that I was diagnosed with. While my husband was on board and fully supportive, I was surprised at the reactions that some of our other family and friends had. There was a lot of hesitation and fear when I told them that I was hoping to be a clinical trial participant. I was not expecting the hesitancy that came along with their questions. While there was hesitancy and fear, it didn't take long for my friends and family to support me in my decisions for research because they also wanted whatever it took to get this out of my body, right? Maybe your family is like mine. Maybe they're a little hesitant about clinical trial participation, even though you're excited. So I thought I might share some of the reasons and questions that my family had. So one of the things was, in my family's limited exposure to cancer, clinical trials and research and trial drugs were given kind of as a last resort. After all other treatment options had failed, that's when clinical trial drugs were introduced. So when I was newly diagnosed and I told my mom, hey, I think I may participate in clinical trial and I might be able to take a trial drug. I can see looking back where that terrified her. Her baby had just been diagnosed with cancer. I mean, I was 41, but still her baby. And in her mind, clinical trial drug meant, oh my goodness, this is worse than I expected. And that this was a last hope. So I had to reassure her that this was not a last hope.
I tried to explain it like my clinical trial participation wasn't because the Titanic was going down and this was a lifeboat that I had to hop in. My participation was hopefully helping the Titanic avoid the iceberg altogether in the future.
Another concern that my loved ones had was, what if they give you a placebo and you don't get the actual drug that you think is going to help? Maybe it was a result of binge watching all that television during the pandemic, but most of my people just associated research and clinical trials with placebo and the actual medication. My teenagers were some of the ones that had these concerns. So we were able to turn this into a learning experience for them and to explain the different phases of clinical trials, the different types, so they could see what my kind was. I was able to show them the study. We looked it up on clinicaltrials.gov so they could see what was happening. We looked it up on my hospital's website so they could learn more about it. And it's kind of been a fun thing for our family to follow the progress of the study on clinicaltrials.gov and hopefully see the results published someday soon. One of my friends was concerned that I was going to be just treated like an experiment. She asked, aren't you worried about being like the guinea pig for the scientists? I never once felt like a test subject during my clinical trial participation. One of the benefits was actually that I felt more looked at than the typical patient. I received more scans. I felt like I had more people with their eyes on me. So my participation in a clinical trial actually gave me a sense of security in a very, very scary time. I liked that I had a few more scans so I could see the progress and prepare myself for upcoming treatments and just know more about what was going on in my body. So maybe my friends and family were the anomaly, and maybe most people are just gung-ho and excited for clinical research. Or maybe your friends and family are like mine. What I do want to say, and as cliche as this may sound, this is your cancer journey. Nobody can ultimately do this but you. You're the one that has the decision making power. When you receive a cancer diagnosis, it completely turns your world upside down. And so I think agreeing to participate in clinical research when everything feels like it's spinning out of control is incredibly brave. So, my advice to you, friend, is be proud of yourself if you decide to do this. Be confident in your decision while also giving grace and being patient with your loved ones who may not understand. You've got this.